वागीश शरणं शरणं वागीश वागीश शरणं शरणं वागीश वागीश शरणं शरणं वागीश वागीश शरणं शरणं वागीश गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेश गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेश शरणं गणेश शरणं गणेश. Is it working? Huh? Not working? Oh. What is this endless mic problems? Only this side is working.
What about if
Audible? No, we will just check if we use this mic. Hari Om. Okay, it is coming now on both the sides, don't worry. You pray that Swami is freed from these mic problems. So, once there was a couple in US and the husband wanted to take mantra diksha from Pujya Swamiji. And then Pujya Swamiji initiated this fellow into the mantra. So mantra diksha was given. And he asked Pujya Swamiji whether mantra will work or simply I came, I respect you, I revere you, so I took mantra, but does it work? If I pray something and will it happen? Pujya Swamiji said, yes, definitely mantra will work, but you should not share this mantra with anybody. Mantra, that is the tradition also. Suppose mantra is, diksha is given to you, you do not share that mantra with others. Suppose others are interested, what is that mantra, I want to take diksha, you can guide them to the teacher. So Pujya Swamiji said, and he was very diligently chanting that mantra every day. And his wife now asked, what is this every day, half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, you are closing your eyes and doing something, what is this? The husband said, it is mantra. Wife said, what mantra? So husband says, I cannot tell you what the mantra is. So she let go of it. The husband was continuing. Second day also, wife saw and she asked him, what is that you are doing? I am doing mantra japa. What is that mantra? Tell me, I also want to know. Husband said, I cannot tell you. The wife was very, very angry. She said, what the hell? I am your wife. You are supposed to share everything with me and you are hiding this mantra. I am so fed up with you where I have to bear you all the time and also all this stupidity of yours. I am going to pack my bags and walk out of this house. And she walked out. And the fellow immediately came to Pujya Swamiji and said, Swamiji, mantra work. So that's about the mantra. Mantra works. As I shared with you all, Pujya Swamiji has composed many beautiful compositions. One very important and also most popular composition is the Bho Shambho, Shiva Shambho Swayambho. Many years back, Swamiji composed it, a very beautiful composition which introduces us to Saguna Ishvara. And immediately Swamiji takes us to Nirguna Brahma from Saguna Brahma, Upasana. He then takes us towards Nirguna Parabrahma. He starts as a prayer to Lord Shiva, Bho Shambho, but then culminates in the Swarupa of Bhagavan, which is not different from the Swarupa of the Jiva. You analyze deeply the Tvampada, you arrive at the essence of Tatpada only. Means the Jiva and individual undergoes a strong inquiry, and what you arrive at, that Swarupa, is not different from the Swarupa of the Ishvara. That is the whole vision of the Vedanta. I'll present to you all this beautiful composition of Pujya Swamiji, Bho Shambho, Shiva Shambho Swayambho, set to Raga Revati Naditala. Krupa samudram sumukham trinetram jathadharam parvati vamabhagam sada shivam rudram akhanda rupam himagirisham hridi himagirisham hridi bhavayami 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 Bho Shambho Shiva Shambho Swayambho 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 Bho शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयम्भो भो शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयम्भो भो शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयम्भो गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर मामव भवसागर तारक गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर मामव भवसागर तारक भो शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयम्भो निर्गुण परब्रह्म स्वरूप गम गम भूत प्रपंचरहित निर्गुण परब्रह्म स्वरूप गम गम भूत प्रपंचरहित निज गुह निहित नितांत अनंत निज गुह निहित नितांत अनंत आनंद अतिशय अक्षय लिंग आनंद अतिशय अक्षय लिंग भो शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयम्भो धिमित धिमित धिमि धिमि किट किडतोम तोम तोम तरि किट किडतोम धिमित धिमित धिमि धिमि किट किडतोम तोम तोम तरि किट किडतोम मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईश धिमित धिमित धिमि धिमि किट किडतोम तोम तोम तरि किट किडतोम मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईश सर्वदिगंबर वेष्टित वेश नित्य निरंजन नृत्य नटेश ईश सभेश सर्वेश धिमित धिमित धिमि धिमि किट किडतोम तोम तोम तरि किट किडतोम मतंग मुनिवर वंदित ईश सर्वदिगंबर वेष्टित वेश नित्य निरंजन नृत्य नटेश ईश सभेश सर्वेश भो शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयम्भो गंगाधर शंकर करुणाकर मामव भवसागर तारक भो शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयम्भो भो शम्भो शिव शम्भो स्वयं भो Anybody sings this composition comes so well because the composition itself is so powerful, and I think Swamiji composed this in Rishikesh, somewhere in Rishikesh. Yeah. Okay, some questions. Is there any special significance of number 9? Navaratri, Gita, 18th chapter, divided by 2, 9, Mahabharata. 9 days, 9 into 2, 18. Mala, 9 into 11. You can give certain significance. You can give certain significance. Navagrahas, so you can take the significance like that. The cosmos has all this. Or sometimes number is there and we associate significance with it. So like that, different numbers you can divide or multiply, get particular number. But Navagraha is one such significance that I can think of. Yeah. If anybody wants to share any other significance, you are welcome. You can think over it. If we were to draw a tree structure for scriptures of Sanatana Dharma, 4 Vedas, 18 Upanishads. No, who gave you 18 Upanishads? No. 10 principal Upanishads, which are commentated by Shankaracharya, or 108 Upanishads. Vedangas, 18 Puranas, 2 Itihasas. Yeah, slightly fine, but in Sanatana Dharma book itself, you have a very elaborate chart there too. You can have a overall view of how we look at our scriptures. Are Vyakarana, Tarka, Mimamsa part of Vedangas? Yeah, Vyakarana, Mimamsa is part of Vedanga. Jyotisha, Kalpa, all of them are Vedangas. These are the tools. Vedangas means what? Tools in order to ascertain the meaning of the Vedas, true significance of the Vedas. Vedas have so many mantras. Which mantra has to be used in which ritual, all that Kalpa Shastra gives. And there's a particular time, a particular ritual has to be performed. So that time and date, the Kala, is brought by astronomy, Jyotisha. Jyotisha, really speaking, as a Vedanga, is not astrology. It is in fact a mix of astronomy, mostly astronomy, and then a bit of astrology. Astrology as we understand today, like you go with your chart and go to a Pandit or somebody and ask them to foresee your future. No, that's a very, very relatively new development. Maybe few hundred years or maximum 1,000 years. So the Vedanga Jyotisha is not simply predicting the future signs, not that. It gives you appropriate time to do a particular Vaidika karma. It is very important to perform the karma in Uttarayana or Dakshinayana, on Paurnima or Amavasya. There is particular Kala associated with a fire ritual. So Jyotisha gives you the direction for that. And Vyakarana is the grammar. Shiksha is the science of pronunciation. So all these are Vedangas. Yeah. Are Ayurveda and Jyotisha part of the Veda tree structure? No, Ayurveda comes as the Upaveda. Ayurveda is not in the main Vedic structure. So it is looked upon as the Upaveda. So where do they fit in the structure? So Upaveda, Dhanurveda, Ayurveda, Sangita Vidya, all of them come as Upavedas. To what extent are Ayurveda and Jyotisha applicable today? Ayurveda, all the entire medicines today, what you take as paracetamol is industrially manufactured. But paracetamol as an essential compound, the original source is plants only. You gain that compound from plant, and initially they used to extract it out of plants. Now human population became so much and that need for paracetamol became so much, they started artificially manufacturing it. You reduce the gain a bit, reduce the gain very little bit. Yeah, that's all. So that's how the plants are the one who are responsible for all the medicinal herbs. That's why Oshadibhyo Vanaspatayaha. That's what We have the name for plants, we don't call it as plants, we call them as medicines only. So Ayurveda, the world is looking back to Ayurveda now, today. Whole Westerners are obsessed with turmeric currently. So all Ayurveda, it's all regaining its strength back, because English medicines are showing what their limitations. Of course, they have their use, emergency use and all that, but as a holistic, cure-based therapeutic system seems to be very good in Ayurveda. And then Ayurveda is reviving, and that is very much applicable. So many people, they don't take any big English medicines or something until and unless it is an emergency. They go for Ayurvedic medicines only, very much applicable. Jyotisha, very much applicable. Today you see Panchanga and all that, eclipse, everything is predicted to the exact second. How is that they're arriving at eclipse and all that? They don't have telescopes and this, that and all that. So still an eclipse, Grahana, is calculated. Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, which star is in, on which date, everything is from Jyotisha Shastra also. Modern science went ahead. Jyotisha had reached until one point, modern science went further. In India, so for so many reasons, our Gurukula systems were destroyed, so we could not move forward with our own development of Jyotisha and all that. But the Western science moved forward and recognized and understood many other facts of the cosmos, so they went ahead. Today also Jyotisha is very much applicable, yeah, very much in use. How much can we rely on them? See, Jyotisha as a basis for time, 100% you can rely on them. Now, Jyotish Shastra, how it is understood today, for matchmaking and predicting, see, it's a predicting stream, all based on statistics. Rishis and people observed human patterns and their association with the cosmos for a number of years, and even now what we have as the chart and Jyotisha Shastra is what it is, what it is, a predictive stream, a predictive field. It can predict a certain things. So if you have belief in that, and if you want to take guidance of that, you are welcome to do so. But do not be obsessed about it. Do not be obsessed about it. You can't live your whole life based on charts. So see, in the ancient days, arranged marriage, love marriage was also there. Always there. You now ring ceremony and all, what do you think is not Western? Dushyanta Shakuntala exchanged rings only and got married. So that is a one form of marriage system was always there, here also. So now in the ancient days, when the marriages were mostly what do you call, arranged marriage, you need some basis to match. You need some basis. Somebody from Tamil Nadu is getting married to somebody in Karnataka. So you need some basis. Families are far, far away. Some connection you may find, but you need some basis. So they arrived at certain, counting certain gunas, or what is called. I don't know, my horoscope never went for marriage. So I don't know what all you people do. So, what, Gana or Guna? Guna, okay. So, certain factors should match, all that, nakshatrams, this, that, all that should match. So, that is taken as a basis. And still it is working. So many marriages based on charts are all very good marriages. There will always be exceptions. So we don't know what, we can't. So it's a prediction. So how much you want to rely on that, it's up to you. But for a Vedantin, no. Why future? Why are you so obsessed about future? Let it happen. So much has happened. Some more years will happen. So simply going by all this is not very applicable for a Vedantin. You take life in your hands and pray to Bhagavan. Put forth your effort with Karma Yoga Buddhi. Keep on doing your actions. What has to come it will come. And Vedanta, a true student of Vedanta, is not interested in karma phala. Karma phala is what is in future. So why do you want to foresee your future? What is the relevance? No relevance for this thing at all. So there is one Purandaradasa composition in Kannada. I will just sing one line and explain the essence of it. Very interesting. Purandaradasa says, Sakala graha bala neene sarasijaksha. So he says, O Lord, you are the bala, you are the strength, power behind all the grahas. You are the Surya. You are the Ravi, Soma, Surya, Nine. So you are the Chandra, Surya. Everything is shining because of this divine presence of consciousness. Oh Bhagavan, you are everything. So why you want to be involved with intermediary factors when you can directly relate to Ishvara, when you can directly relate to the universal power? So that's should be the attitude of a Vedantin. Let go of all the charts. If for your son's marriage or daughter's marriage, something you want to take basis of, that and all in that given scheme of things is all fine. But personally for yourself, stop this over engagement with the future. Be at the present moment with strength and sensibility, and everything will happen. So in the whole scheme of things, there's prarabdha and there is also purushartha. Prarabdha brings what it brings. Certain factors you have no control over, and certain factors in the universe you do have control over. So with that basis, knowing what is what, you go ahead. That's all. So the life is a mix between the prarabdha and the purushartha. Just because you see the chart and they say you will not succeed in the business, so will you close the shop and then sit at home? No, you cannot do that. Why? Because there are certain things which are fixed. If it has to happen, it will happen in spite of you. So anyways, you don't have any control over it. This is the prarabdha. And in the whole scheme of things, there is also purushartha, that you can put forth your effort. So I have a very practical model to bring it to your day-to-day life experience, because there are some people who argue that it's all fate, and there are some people who argue everything is prarabdha. So what is the middle path? Where do you walk in day-to-day life? Life is a mix between prarabdha and purushartha. It's like the two wheels of the bicycle. You put effort on the one wheel and the other wheel supports you to move forward. And certain factors in life are prarabdha. Whatever you do, you cannot change. Like your height. Height is prarabdha. Can you change it? You can put a heels or big shoe and temporarily increase 1 inch, but your height is fixed. Prarabdha. Purushartha, weight. Your weight is your purushartha. It's in your hands, no? Is it predetermined? Oh, it's eat 10 gulab jamuns and say it's all Bhagavan has given me this excess 10 kilos. You can't say that. So day-to-day life, you can have it in your anubhava that it's always a mixed between prarabdha and purushartha. So you put forth your effort, pray, and prarabdham tviha bhujyatam, Acharya Shankara says. So don't try to escape this, that. If you escape also, that shesha will remain in some or the other form, it will come. So prarabdham tviha bhujyatam, tu iha bhujyatam. So undergo. Life is full of experiences. Whatever you do, you cannot avoid certain things. Those are certain things in life. You move ahead with dhairyam. With dhairyam. Very important. That inner strength that I can face life. If you don't have that, and you're afraid, you're not living fully. You're always living partially. And that sort of a life is not very significant. Yeah. Swamiji, what is apeksha? Okay, sometimes I've used the word Sanskrit. Apeksha means dependency. Dependency. The mic has the apeksha of electricity. Mic is dependent on electricity. That is the apeksha. The upasana mentioned in the Upanishads are only for a purified mind, or it can be practiced for anthakarana shuddhi. No, no. That's for the sake of anthakarana shuddhi, chitta shuddhi and chitta naischalyam. So anybody can practice the upasanas. Unfortunately, most of the many upasanas which are taught in the Vedas and Upanishads, we have lost the tradition. We have lost the teaching tradition for those upasanas. Many upasanas we do have the tradition. But for many Vaidika upasanas, we have lost the teaching tradition. So you cannot attempt on your own. So Omkara Upasana, a simple Upasana. Guidelines are given, you practice. But there is Panktopasana in Taittiriya Upanishad. No doubt the description is given, but we do not know how exactly to meditate, undertake that Upasana, Pankta Brahma Upasana. We don't know that how exactly to do. So we leave aside those upasanas, we learn, we study, we understand the gist of it. So we do not have full basis to understand those upasana. That's why Pujya Swamiji and all his senior disciples never have done anything other than guided meditations. They're very safe. So do not simply be enchanted about upasanas, read some book and attempt on your own. No, it's not advised. Why it's not advised? All these upasanas require tremendous amount of focus and concentration on your part. So when you are in high state of concentration and you do not know how to take that energy forward, you become it becomes short circuit inside and you lose so many different things have happened to people. So then never attempt these upasanas on your own. Unless you have a master guiding you through the upasana, you don't attempt upasanas on your own. No DIY. I am not this, I am not that. I negate everything only to find that I amness and I am all and I am everything. I am part of Jagat. The whole Jagat is me. Is my understanding correct? Sometimes it looks contradictory. Where am I missing the point? I will discuss this in the class and throw more light on this. So another 2 classes are remaining. This particular aspect is going to be dealt with. After that also, if you still have any doubts, you can always clarify. Yeah. Swamiji, in my life I find I am always dependent or need support. Support like of late. I can clearly see each one's journey is individual, purely individual. First parents, then some friends, then some close relatives, then the best friends, then 1 or 2 guides, mentors, gurus in different walks of life. Why am I not able to just be with myself without yearning for companions or friends, etc.? This is a common symptom of mind. The mind only knows how to operate when there are dependencies. So it is used to that way of life, because in society that's how we grow up also. But the same society, unfortunately, never totally teaches the joy in seclusion, the ananda, the peace and joy that is there in just one's own company, as though the world is structured in such a way that it makes you feel like a loser if you don't have a bunch of friends or a big social circle or a big family or a big set of relatives, spouse, all that. That's how the society is structured. But in such a society, to discover value for ekanta, ekante sukamasyatham, like Acharya says, may you discover the joy and peace in ekanta, and you sit, abide in that seclusion, solitude. So this solitude is sometimes difficult, I can understand the questioner, because as you have rightly seen, the emotional dependencies are there. Physical dependencies are going to be there in life. You cannot do away with that. Everybody is dependent on somebody else physically. Physical dependency is the way of life. You cannot change it. You cannot say, even if you do say that I will just live alone, you are depending on so many people physically. You are depending on farmer for vegetable, physical dependence. You are dependent on people working in the electrical department for electricity, physical dependence. You are depending on all the construction workers to construct a house for you, physical dependence. Physical dependence never causes problem. If you are physically dependent like this, we all are. Even a sannyasi is physically dependent on grihasthas, ashram staff, so many things. Even a sannyasi is physically dependent. Nobody is physically independent. But in the scheme of things, so husband is dependent on wife for so many physical factors like managing the house or earning for the household, etc. Wife is also physically dependent on husband for earning or upkeep of the house or taking care of the family. So many factors. Physical dependence doesn't create any problems, but human mind gets emotionally dependent on people. I want this person to give me happiness. Emotional dependence. I will be happy only in the presence of this person. I'll be secure only in the presence of this person. I can have entertainment only in the presence of this person. All emotional dependencies. So many emotional dependencies. So, Putradhara Grihadishu. Yeah, in Gita, some shloka, what is that? Putradhara Grihadishu. Bala Subramaniam ji. Huh. Putradhara Grihadishu. Arati Janasamsadihi. Okay. So in one of the Gita shlokas, what are the dependencies that we have? Shri Krishna lists. So the dependencies on what are we have? Putra, son or daughter. Bring Putri also. No, don't argue why Krishna didn't put Putri. Putra Dara, wife. Dependency on the wife. Other way around, husband. Grihadishu. Griha, house. So much dependence on the house. And Krishna says, etc. And then in Acharya Shankara, in the Bhashya, he supplies dasa. We are so emotionally dependent on the maids and the helpers. No dependency on husband, wife and all is gone now. The main thing, as you wake up, what is your dependency? What are you dependent? Whether the maid, the cook, driver has come or not. If they come, we feel very secure. Abba, okay, fine. Husband is woken up or not, the wife is not worried. Housemaid has come or not. So Acharya Shankara at that time only has recognized human folly, human emotional dependencies on domestic help. So much. So you see, physically we may have to depend on domestic help. But the absence of that one cooking lady or cleaning lady, we become so agitated. We call up and argue, fight. My God, what all these people do. So Tattvavidananji says, hey, don't get worried. You go gym for walking, no, skip it. You do household work. That only is that day's exercise. So forget the maid. So one day she doesn't come, he doesn't come. You do the work and finish with it. So physical dependencies are there, but emotionally we have to see. Presence or absence of the person should not disturb us. See, only we think of absence. Absence should not disturb us, like that we will think. Presence and absence, both should not disturb you. That is the way to address the all emotional problems. So you address one by one. Wherever you are deriving so much emotionalism and emotional dependencies, you shift the dependency. Shift the dependency on Bhagavan. Emotionally depend on Bhagavan. To start with, see, if you have to let go of the attachment, you have to get attached to something higher. Chinmayananji used to say this. So you have to let go of the attachments of the lower, get attached to the higher. That's the way to let go of the attachment of the lower. Simply if you let go of the attachment of the lower, then the mind again wants somewhere to dwell on. It will be thinking, where should I go, where should I go? It will go find some other stupid thing. So not like that. So you let go of the lower things and get attached to the higher values. Vedanta, Shravana, Karma Yoga, Japa, Bhagavan, so Upasana, this is where you put the mind at. That's how you will be in a very healthy zone, emotionally healthy. Physical health, emotional health, as they say, that is also very important. That's how we handle the emotional dependencies. You gave us a suggestion that chant Nirvana Shatkam daily. Whereas on electric cremation grounds, mostly maintained by Isha Foundation in Coimbatore area, it is played. Is it correct? I don't know that they are maintaining electric cremation grounds. I didn't know. But if they are maintaining and playing, it's a good place to probably play Nirvana Shatkam, because that's the place of Vairagya. Everybody gets Smashana Vairagya. When you go to crematorium, you have that Smashana Vairagya. For at least for even the most toughest person will question life. Oh, is it all? One fine day, the physical body comes to an end. So some amount of Vairagya is there, and probably that chant is there, may inspire that person to seek Vedanta, pursue Vedanta. So I don't find it anything wrong in that sense. So in Karnataka especially, I have observed, in the homes where they are Vedantically oriented, family where they are Vedantically oriented, or there will be a family and one or two families in that big family are associated with Vedanta and all that. Suppose there is a loss in the household, I have seen people chanting Nirvana Shatkam, because every evening they just gather and sit to remember the person or anything. In that sabhas also we have come across this. But finally, where you chant, how you chant is not the priority. That this should culminate as your understanding, your own understanding. So you let go of all the entanglements and you let go of all false identifications. That is where it should culminate it. So that's the place for Nirvana Shatkam. Sannyasis do not have a normal life. They leave, sacrifice everything in search of truth of self. But we have a sannyasi who is chief minister going in posh car. We have another sannyasi who is doing business under a particular brand name. Is it allowed, all allowed in the Sanatana Dharma? So, of course, the vision of sannyasa is that sannyasis never get involved with any worldly responsibilities as such. Sannyasis, in fact, never were coming into the cities also. Once in a while, they would come to the towns or hamlets, different hamlets, to take bhiksha and then go live in their ashrams, go live in their gurukulams. But sannyasis were always the people to look up to for guidance on dharma and adhyatma. In all those cases, the sannyasis were the source, even in the ancient societies. People used to go to them and seek guidance and come back to their towns, and sannyasis mostly used to be in their ashrams, traveling from place to another. That's all. But then these custodians of dharma, the sannyasis, the gurus, observed that the society, the Sanatana Dharma, is declining. There is so much onslaughter. there is so much disturbance by various invaders, where they are not even allowing the practice of Sanatana Dharma. They are destroying the temples, they are destroying the Gurukulams. All this recorded history, Vijayanagara history you see, Maratha history you see. Anyway, this is all not some imaginary things, recorded history. And those who like Western people only writing histories, you can look into those English history books only. That the different type of track system which was there in the Mughal period for Hindus to, if they have not got converted, all that, many these things, kind of things are recorded history. So sannyasis saw that they could just not be away from the world saying that it will take care of itself, we need not interfere, we should not interfere as per our sannyasa dharma. The sannyasis observed. One such sannyasi back many hundred years is Vidyaranya Swami, one of the sannyasi who comes in the Sringeri Parampara, who got hold and inspired two youngsters, Hakka and Bukka, who in turn built the Vijayanagara Samrajya, which became the one of the most richest Samrajya, where culture, tradition, everything reached its pinnacle. In the same North India, the Sikh gurus who were purely living a life of a sannyasi, and they were teaching the Guru Granth Sahib and practicing their dharma, where there was so much onslaught on by Mughals on Hindus and practicing Sikhs, practicing Hindus. These gurus took sword in their hands to bring back the dharma. And many Sikh gurus, one Sikh guru was beheaded by Aurangzeb because he stood for Sanatana Dharmis, he stood for Hindu causes. So that's how sannyasis got involved with the society at these periods where the society was, the entire Sanatana Dharma was under attack. That's the time probably sannyasis kept involving this thing. These entire Gurukula systems were all destroyed. Wherever the Mughal rules were there, kings used to patronize the Gurukulams. Kings used to give money for running the temple and certain aspects of the temple and Gurukula, etc. Now the education, the Vedic science, the Vedic education had to be taken forward. So the sannyasis came into the cities and started teaching Vaidika Dharma, the mantras, everything to society in common. That's how the sannyasis got involved with the society. So in such a way, we have a chief minister, a sannyasi, as a chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. So it's the desha, you have to interpret according to the kala and desha. In today's context, and we are living in a democratic society, and anybody, any citizen of India can stand as an elected representative. So he stood, he won votes, and he seems to be doing a very good job. And then, so that's how sannyasis who are never going to be involved came into the society. Now, when you come into the society, you have to adopt certain ways of living of the society. You can't say, I will sit only on grass mat. Don't put chair for me. I will not use laptop. I will not use mic. You can't. I will not use this, that. You can't say that. You have to go with the society, keeping limits. If you see certain states, Karnataka and all of that, it is purely because of mathas. So much education is going on. So many projects, welfare projects are all because of the mathas and the mathadipatis who are all doing such great job. You go Puttaparthi, Sai Baba brought water canal into entire dry Puttaparthi, which no government could do so far. A sannyasi got water for an entire drought affected region. So that's how sannyasis got involved with the society, and then they had to adopt certain ways of the society. No sannyasi wants a luxury car or something. Their devotees, whatever cars they get, the sannyasis, they use that particular car. whatever gadgets the devotees get them, they use it. It's not that sannyasi will go for car shopping and dress shopping and phone shopping and this shopping and that shopping. Whatever are the, you need a car to move from place to place in today's society. If the sannyasi is involved with certain institutions, heading certain institutions, then you need a car. And that institution, group of devotees get him or her something, and purely the sannyasi has the objective or physical use of it, no emotional dependency or anything. So that's how you have to understand the sannyasa dharma in today's world. Whether using all of this, is sannyasi using all of this for his entertainment and his thing, or for loka kalyana? When you observe, you recognize it's not for some craze or fashion or some to show up a status. The sannyasi is going in a particular car or anything like that, nothing of it. So you have to interpret it in a context today. So many such great monks, Pujya Swami Chinmayananda ji, Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, all of them traveled length and breadth of country, where traveling in flight only was like a taboo for sannyasis. Even the society did not accept it initially. After that, society understood, okay, the person has a center in Rishikesh, person has a center in Coimbatore, you can't waste 6 days in travel, the person has another, is heading and teaching hundreds of people elsewhere. So that's how all these Mahatmas traveled from place to place using practical means available given by their devotees at that time, and lived their life. You see, if you do not understand this also, that's why it's so important to spend proper time being in touch with the Guru, in touch and knowing the Guru enough so that you do not have misconception about the Guru. One very sincere student from UK had come to the Gurukulam when we were all studying back then. He was very enthusiastic and very shraddha and all of that. At some point, he got hold of some book, Yati Dharma Sangraha or something. Yeah, Yati Dharma Sangraha. So he caught hold of this book. So in this Yati Dharma Sangraha, the code of conduct for a sannyasi is prescribed. How the sannyasi has to live. The sannyasi has to live, has to put unstitched clothes. Okay, it is written there. The sannyasi has to take, should not travel in any mode of transport. He should not get into any ratha or any transport except walking. Sannyasi should not use footwear. He should only use paduka. Sannyasi should, some few rules like that. Back then, what was applicable to that society? Then he saw Pujya Swamiji. Sannyasi should not wear stitched clothes. Hey, this, our Swami is wearing stitched clothes. He is not a sannyasi. 1 mark less. Sannyasi should not travel by any mode of transport except walking. Arey, Swamiji is going in such a luxurious car. He doesn't know devotees offered and he could not, they wanted it to be there. So some mode of transport is required. He went around in that. Sannyasi should not cross the ocean. Arey, this Swamiji is going to America ashram and coming back. -1. -1. He said, then finally he concluded, this is not a real Swamiji, I will go back. He went back. Only for this reason. He was totally happy with the teaching, the atmosphere, food, everything. But this kind of a misconception. So you should know what to look for. And understand. If you don't understand, you can ask Swamiji only. Swamijis will never hesitate. They will explain why, what, for what reason. So instead of not even clarifying, simply sticking on to some 10th century book and wanting the 10th century lifestyle by a sannyasi, it becomes redundant. We will lose out the game of Sanatana Dharma only. Imagine all these great Mahatmas going by walk from place to place. Shankara's time, fine, now place to in spread of Sanatana Dharma. Today our teachers, 220 plus sannyasis are there all over the world, and many brahmacharis and many grihasthas equally trained to teach. All of them are continuing the vision with the vision. All this was made possible because Swamiji conducted Vedanta courses even in US. here in India, here in Rishikesh, Nagpur, all of it. Otherwise it is impossible. So that's how we have to look into it in Sukshma Drishti and recognize. Yeah. Questions are over. So I'll just take another few minutes. I was so touched today and I was so overwhelmed and almost in tears of joy that our youngest student Gopal and his sister, both of them attended my Upadesha Sara camp in Rishikesh, and their mother got me their notes. They have so well made the notes of the classes and then gone back to their homes and written what all they have understood and all that. My God, it is so this thing, and you can't believe this is some, how old is your daughter? 17. And this tiny fellow, 13, our Shvetaketu. And that, you see, just I'll read a few lines, how they have made notes and all that. Kartrurajñaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. Artha. In this world, everybody runs for success in their goal. Once they attain this, they have a great achievement. For the achievement, people tend to forget the key of success. In the Upanishad Purusharthas are told as step-by-step framework for success. But some people always do hard work and forget the prarthana also. In this world, everything is based on laws of Ishvara. Prarthana directly connects us with Ishvara. Thus, the first line of shloka says that everything is based on the laws of Ishvara. Then, if it is asked, how can an action which is inert be, then a question is asked, can an action which is inert be limitless? My God, I was so overwhelmed that these tiny tots have absorbed Vedanta and so interested, and it is really blessing of Ishvara, Pujya Swamiji, that even from such young age, the kids are coming to camp by their own will. Usually kids will run away from the camps and all that. So I thought I'll just share this with you all, so that it's such a inspirational thing about this. And so our, yes, big round of applause for Gopal and his sister. So my big great mother. So from Oman, where they were staying, they were always connected to Pujya Swamiji. The family is so dedicated for Shastra. So let us all pray that the kids and the mother and the family is always on the path of Swasti and recognize and fully realize the Parama Purushartha. Now I wanted Gopal to sing or chant couple of verses from Upadesha Sara. They made the notes purely based on not listening. What their understanding, what they had heard when they came to Rishikesh camp, they have gone back home and written all this.
Karturajñaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam kriti mahudadhau patana karanam phalam shashvatam gati nirodhakam ishvararpitam nichaya kritam चित्तशोधकं मुक्तिसाधकं कायवाङ्मनः कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जपः चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगत ईषधी युक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिभृत् देवपूजनम् उत्तमस्तवात् उच्चमन्दतः चित्तजं जपः ध्यानमुत्तमम् आज्यधारया स्रोतसा समं सरलचिन्तनं विरलतः परं भेदभावनात् सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाभिदा पावनी मता भावशून्या सद्भावसुस्थितिः भावनाबला भक्तिरुत्तमा हृतस्थले मनः स्वस्थिता क्रिया भक्तियोगा बोधाश्च निश्चिता. I don't have that hand up. I got the images. Thank you.
That's the last one you sang. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Let us end the satsang with the one chant of Nirvana Shatkam. Close your eyes. Let go of all efforts. Recognize the ever shining self which is there as the witness of everything. Manobudhyahankar chetani naham na cha shrotra jihve na cha ghrana netre न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. Om Tat Sat. You can all exit the lecture hall. We will meet tomorrow for the meditation.